Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody in the house. We got Loca Mayan 3. What's good, Kurt? Everything's good, man. Everything is good. Just relaxing, having a fantastic morning. You know, just thankful to see another Christmas, man. Just thankful to see another Christmas because a lot of people haven't. A lot of people don't have that luxury to see another year, yet alone another day, let alone another holiday that is special to some, to others nothing. To me, it is a very special occasion, and I'm quite impressed with this day, this year's turnout. I think people, over here, everybody pretty much got what they wanted. You know what I mean, as far as gifts and stuff like that. So, this is the official Merry Christmas special from Counterpunch Boxing News. So, just ready to reach out to you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for hitting that like button. Man, I'm just relaxing today. Just relaxing today, man. And got content out, Avatar Dilly and happy Christmas, Kurt. And the family had me dinner very scrumptious. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so when you guys come in, let me know where you're at so I'll know what to do. Give me a shout out. I'll shout you out. Avatar, what did you have for your Christmas dinner? Quiet SP30 Kurt just came in. Counterpunch to you. Merry Christmas. The only thing is I wish it was chilly here. And that kind of worries me, like I remember when I was a kid, Christmas meant it was cold. I mean, it used to be cold in the 90s. That's the crazy thing. Counterpunch, Baba, what are we talking about? Man, we're talking about everything. We're talking about everything from the Deadlight Joe to Damned If I Know. This is the special today. We can talk about the news. We can talk about the blues. Jake Paul, he called out Francis Ngannou. And something that's tripping me out, though, about AJ. Like I'm seeing, like AJ's all over the America mainstream now. And it's like, where in the hell has all these people been that are now jumping on the AJ bandwagon for knocking out Jake Paul? Listen, Jake Paul to a lot of people was a nuisance. For me, he was a nuisance for a long time until he fought Mike Tyson. And then I gained respect for him. And I mean, not respect as a fighter. I mean, respect as a person. Because I thought he was just an arrogant piece of you know what I'm saying? But I found out that there is, he does have respectable bones in his body. Because the way he fought Mike Tyson, that could have been worse. You know what I mean? There was a difference between the way he fought Mike Tyson versus the way he fought Anderson Silva. It was a totally different vibe because he knew, I'm not going to fight Mike like I want to hurt Mike. I'm going to fight Mike to put on an exhibition, and that's exactly what that was supposed to be. It's just on Jake Paul's rules. So I gained a lot of respect for Jake because he didn't do that with Mike. Because if he would have forced his hand on Mike and just really tried and pressed Mike, everybody would have known he was a special piece of you know what. You know what I mean? And that he was due for that. Sensing heavy unemployment levels from this live. I don't know about that one. Because next year's going to be banging, and So you guys know, Merry Christmas to everybody, but everybody on the live. I'm in 2 episodes in season 5 of Stranger Things. So that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest Netflix show on Netflix. So that kicks off the year, right? Because I think that'll air either, I think I'm in the last 2 episodes or the first 2 episodes. Either one, I got to look at the contracts. So who the F works on Christmas? Ah, nobody's working. You think I call this work? This ain't working. He said, Dad owns the company. I'm 19. Always watch Scrooge at Christmas. Ryan from Australia, counterpunch to you. Lou Brown. Where's Lou Brown at? You know what I watch on Christmas? I normally watch it with my dad, and that's Die Hard. Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman. Yippee-ki-yay, mother. How much you on a year from Stranger Things? How much are you on? I'm on two episodes. 2 episodes in the season number 5. So as far as that goes, just finished a Yellowstone spinoff. Then I'm going over to another show, whichever show. But they're going to be piling in. There's a lot of shows. There's a lot of work. So I'm just thankful for the work that I get. Because as far as work goes, if it's by the abundance, you just have to worry about everything else, Godzilla 2005, YN or Y9C. Merry Christmas, brother, and imagine a Christmas Terminator movie. That would be dope, actually. Terminator comes on Christmas Day. Man, if a Terminator came on Christmas Day, that'll catch everybody off guard. And I'm going to tell you why. Like if a Terminator was coming right now, I have no firearm on me right now. That's slipping. Normally, I'm almost always strapped. Now, I just had in me, I just took it up to the crib. But I don't have it on me now. Feeling good, all relaxed, unalarmed, right? AJ broke, almost knocked Jake's Paul's teeth the L out. I think they had to remove some teeth. You live in that Prius? That's a lie. Look at the skin. The hell does that mean? You live in that Prius. I don't have a Prius, dude. Oh, you got jokes on Christmas. Yeah. Jokes on you. Boom. See ya. Wouldn't want to be you. Merry Christmas. And knew he got knocked down by a Uber driver. Remember that? I was saying, knew he got knocked out. Uh-oh. For whatever reason, knew he's good. I like it. I remember that was a very good fight. 2 chicken breasts, sprouts, roast potatoes, parsnips, carrots, and Yorkshire pudding and gravy. I'm like, what the hell is a parsnip? Reminds me of Dave Chappelle and parsnips. I don't know what a parsnip is. I never had one ever. So that's something we don't eat over this way. And I like to think that I'm pretty well rounded, especially given my background. Parsnips are those white looking carrots. And something tells me they're good for you. Who you got this week in the Inui versus Picasso fight, Kurt? I think Inui will win, but Picasso can knock him out. He's a big puncher. Lou Brown. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this prediction about Inui. Something about Inui, his aggressiveness, that's why he's considered, if not the pound for pound fighter, right? Something tells me that he's going to, he's given me the, but hold on, let's see. There we go. Now we're back. So think of, oh. Nah, it's I had to change, I had to reconnect to my my actual Wi-Fi instead of my hotspot on my phone. So nah, I'm back. So the lag should be gone. The lag should be out. Let's see. What were you saying about Inui? Inui gives me chocolatito vibes. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I had to connect to my other Wi-Fi. We're good. We're all connected. We're all connected now. So let people pile in. But no, just something tells me Inui's going to get knocked out. I think, you know, those smaller guys like that, not everybody can be Pacquiao. Nahir, hi, what are you doing? I'm chilling. I'm here. I'm drinking a beer. Bars. But no, man, I do really think that Inui's going to get knocked out. And it's not something that I'm wishing on Inui. It's just, he's just small moving up in weight. And because he's moving up in weight, you know, it's going to be a cutoff point. I don't know where that cutoff point's going to be. Because remember, they were trying to set a, I think eventually they're going to put him in there with somebody that just punches way too hard for him to be fighting the way he fights. If that makes sense. Because a lot of times, man, you got people that like to fight like Al Heyman. Al Heyman's looking for Inui because remember they wanted him to fight Tank Davis, and I'm like, why would you want to fight Tank Davis? Why would you want to fight Tank Davis? And why fight Tank Davis when Tank Davis used to fight at 140? And I don't really care if he didn't like 140 or not, because, I mean, we could give Tank a pass because there were guys, well, no, because even Arturo Gatti fought at 140, then he went to 147. 147 was a little bit too big for him, and he went back to 140. You know, and I'll say this. Tank is at 135, but Tank is not a small dude. Everybody's saying he's too little. I think that's a cop-out. Tank is not too small. And it'd be those fanboys of Tank that doesn't want him to fight guys. I mean, bro, you gave Mario Barrios his first loss. And you're telling me that a person that was able to stop a guy at 140 doesn't belong there? Think about what I'm saying. Tank Davis fought at 140. He beat Mario Barrios at 140. Then decided, hey, I think this is too much for me. Never to return or not to stay at that weight. That means that 140 is your weight class because 140 completes you. It challenges you. It gives you that competitive mindset because you know now I can't go up here and do what I did at 135 and take punches like I took against Leo Santa Cruz, a smaller guy. He can't do that at 140. But that's the whole point in challenging yourself. You see what I mean? You're like, I just don't like that. Just left bad taste in my mouth with Tank Davis. But You would rather pull another smaller guy from another smaller weight class up to you. I just find that strange, man. That just like that to me, that's almost like weight bullying to a whole nother degree. Tank versus Crawford prediction. I'll say it like Tank said it best. I mean, Crawford said it best. Crawford said I would break your effing neck. Nah, he wouldn't be like he would beat up Tank because what'll happen? Tank is quick and sharp. I'm sorry, he doesn't hit hard enough to stun him. Unless Tank was smart enough, Tank and his people were smart enough to drag Crawford probably to 144. You know what I mean? 143 or something like that. Just kind of like how Floyd fought Juan Manuel Marquez back in the day. They supposed to have met at 144. And Floyd didn't come in at 144. The bastard came in at 146, which was smart because he was like, I would rather pay you the money than to give you an edge physically because I'm going to win because I'm going to come in the weight that I want to come in at. Floyd will tell you himself, oh, I do whatever I wanted to do. I made $1 billion in this business because I did whatever I wanted to do. I did whatever I wanted to do. And he did it. You know, 147 was prime Bud. You know what though? If Bud Crawford kept fighting in this era of people, and he fought Lara, he fought Adamas, and then Janibek, I don't know if he'll fight Janibek. Janibek screwed himself, bro. Meldonium, come on, bro. Meldonium. You like, I mean, at this point though, I'm gonna get like Paula Malignaggi over here. You know, Paula Malignaggi said something about 6 years ago. This has been a while back. This is when the cash cow of boxing tested positive for clenbuterol, Canelo Alvarez. And this is what Paulie said. You know, he was like, look, I just want to tell somebody something. You know, first of all, I just think, you know what, somebody gotta be a sacrificial lamb, and somebody gotta get out of the sport of boxing. Somebody gotta indefinitely get suspend somebody, and then they gotta fine them about $1 million, and then that's the way they're gonna cut this. They gotta cut this shit out. Right? You know, Paulie be talking fast, and he's right. He's right, but it's like if you take someone and you put up someone like that as a sacrificial lamb. You crucify their ass. You charge them $1 million, and it's a 5-year ban. That would stop a lot of that shit because people would start looking at it, man. Because this is what I think that's happening in the sport. I think what's happening in the sport of boxing is, I think in the black market, you have peddlers, you have drug dealers, you have people that go to the training camps, the different people, and they promote this particular substance. Well, hey, this makes you burn more fat, this makes you quicker, this makes you stronger, this makes you faster, this makes you this makes you that. And I think they do it, and then I think at the guarantee of it not being detectable. You have to do it at a certain time. This is the way to use it. They pitch this shit, I think, to different people. You know what I mean? I think they pitch it to different people. I think what they do is they go from camp to camp, gym to gym, and pitch drugs. You know what I mean? Or maybe they're more secluded, you know, recluse, maybe. But at the same time, I do think that that it's too many people getting popped with so much like different stuff for it not to be that way. People are cheating, man. These boxers are taking stuff. They're getting popped. So if you know they're getting popped, then the more, I think it's more people that are taking it. And then I think based on the amount of people that's getting popped, there got to be a certain amount of people that's taking this stuff. Loco 8173, Crawford beats Mayweather. You know, I seen a video with Timothy Bradley in it today. And Timothy Bradley just this morning. And Timothy Bradley was like, you know, I think Terrence Crawford beats any version of Floyd. And And he said, you know, because Terrence fought people without stipulations, without concessions, without the A-side dominance. He did it his way. And I'll say this. I'm not going to take away from Floyd. I like Terrence. I loved Pretty Boy. You know what I mean? I just know he was special. I know they're both special, and it's a shame they're not in their primes. I think if anyone had an opportunity to beat Floyd, it's Terrence, because Terrence fights southpaw. Floyd has the shoulder roll. The crossover defense does not work with a southpaw. That's why Zab Judah was able to do what he did to Floyd when he fought Floyd. And that happened. I mean, it was a big pandemonium. I mean, Zab just wasn't ready. But Terrence Crawford wouldn't have gassed. So let's take the Floyd that fought Zab Judah, the same Zab Judah that gave Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather, his first unofficial knockdown, but it was a knockdown. You know what I mean? They just didn't have instant replay back then, so they couldn't call it. If a referee missed it in a boxing match, it's just done. You know what I mean? Because it's up to the referee to call the shots. You know, the commentators or anybody outside the ring cannot implement anything. They can't add, nor can they take away. So that was a knockdown that Zab landed. It was a right hook because Floyd went down with that stabbing jab to the body that he's known for. And then when he did it, he got countered with the right hook from Zab. And he swayed this way, and his glove hit the ground. Since his glove hit the ground, you know, that was a knockdown. But I think it was Richard Steele, or was it the other guy? Was it the what's his name? I forget his name. The guy that's always in the Floyd fights. But anyway, he retired now. He missed it. You know, just like Sugar Shane scored a knockdown over Manny Pacquiao, but it wasn't a knockdown, it was a slip. But the referee acknowledged that he did slip, but he couldn't do anything about it because he already made the call. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that was. But yeah, even Zab gave him hell for 6 rounds. Terrence Crawford would have finished Floyd. He would have beat Floyd, and he probably would have stopped Floyd because, and here's the thing, there's no way of knowing this, of course, but I'll tell you, I think Terrence would have stopped Floyd, and he would have been the first person to do so. Then you know something sad? He probably wouldn't have got the credit for doing it because everybody hated Floyd and nobody really respected Terrence Crawford for being Terrence Crawford. People didn't start to respect this man until he beat up Errol Spence. I've been telling people you look at my channel for the last 10 years, I've been saying Terrence Crawford is one of the best fighters that we have in this generation. I've been telling people that shit. You know, some people listen. Most didn't. Because most people came to my channel to watch heavy or to listen to heavyweights. I have way more intel and intelligence and boxing brain than the heavyweight division. In fact, the heavyweight division was dead when I started this channel. When I started this channel, the heavyweight division was nothing. There was no Deontay Wilder. There was no Tyson Fury. And if it was, Tyson was fighting, but Tyson wasn't known yet. There was no AJ. AJ didn't come to 2012, and we didn't know who he was until like maybe 16 or 17, 15 or 16, right? We didn't really know who AJ was then. So the heavyweight division didn't sprout yet. It didn't sprout. So it is what it is. Crawford is bigger than Pacquiao too. Don't matter. It don't matter. I mean, Crawford would have beat Pacquiao, bro. People would have hated Crawford for that. So Pacquiao was too loved to fight Crawford and lose to him. That's why it didn't happen. And I think the handlers knew it. Freddie Roach knew it. Bob Arum knew it. They knew it. Michael Kuntz knew it. They knew, like, no, that guy, you stay away from that kid, Terrence, because Terrence is a guy, he is a special kind of southpaw. Anybody that switch hits like Terrence Crawford can and does, he's not a, he doesn't have a one style. This motherfucker's a style bender. He's a style bender. And it's crazy the way he gives people fits. I remember specifically watching the Yoriokas Gamboa fight. And you know I'm Team Cuba, right? Because my people, half of them are from there. So I was all for Yoriokas Gamboa. Gamboa was an undefeated golden Olympian, defected Cuban at the time, so he had some sense. He got the hell out of Cuba. You know what I mean? He stopped being brainwashed, and he started having a reign of defenses, and he was exciting. He wasn't like that cat and mouse dude. Even though he had the ability to fight that way, he didn't fight that way. You know what I mean? He looked like a little miniature Mike Tyson, right? And he, you know, he gave people bombs. He had, you know, he was very athletic. You know, he was like he was like the Cuban version of Tank Davis back then. Back then, even though he ended up fighting Tank way past his prime. But yeah, he messed around and seen Crawford. And I didn't know who Crawford was at all. That was the first fight I ever saw Crawford. And when I saw Crawford, he was getting Crawford. And then, look, I left. It was funny. I was at my dad's house, and I seen Yoriokas Gamboa, pot shot him. You know, kind of step around, walk around the block, then do it again. Dot, dot, dot. You know, landing these shots, scoring. And I was like, okay, he got this kid, you know. So I walked away, went upstairs, and I did something. I came back to the television, and Terrence Crawford had switched stances. The dude switched stances, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought this was an orthodox fighter. Now he's a damn southpaw, right? And that's when the fight started to change. He started to land and counter on you, Gamboa. Gamboa started to lower his arms because something about really quick fighters, they think that the speed can get them out of everything just because they're fast. No, you still have to be defensively responsible. Prime Pacquiao was a killer. He almost decapitated Ricky Hatton. Yeah, poor Ricky, man. God bless Ricky Hatton, man. CTE is real. I think that's why I'm happy for fighters when they do retire. Because understand, they're taking punches, that these punches, it don't have to be right away. You know, this could be later on. You have guys like Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti was suffering from CTE before he was either murdered or unalived himself, whichever the one you want to pick. I think he was murdered. I think he was murdered. But nonetheless, he was getting in the fights. You know, he was down there in Brazil with his wife, some part of Brazil. Because, you know, if you guys never been to Brazil, Brazil is just, it's like the USA. It's not a third world country. It's just as big. It's actually, Brazil is bigger than the USA. And the US is a huge body of land, right? Brazil is the same as just in South America, but it's a different world. You get into it with guys down there, and he was doing that, and he was fighting a lot. You know what I mean? And that, you know, and that's one of the signs of CTE. You're very violent. You know what I mean? Your brain is damaged, and it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of, you know, beat to the damage and to it's just wired to the point you're just always, you know, violent. You're just always violent. And then he's suffering from it. Mickey Ward right now, and he's in his 50s. Mickey Ward is in his 50s and he's suffering from problems. Tony Bellew said that he's suffering from problems from CTE. He's having, you know, the residual effects of that. How can a heavyweight be pound for pound? That's easy if he started in another weight class. Like Usyk could be pound for pound because he didn't start at heavyweight. In the humid shadows of a 1950s dockside warehouse, iron sealess vein fought for the price of a steak and a quiet walk home, he possessed a terrifying anatomical precision. Ricky has his limitations. If Bud and Bivol were naturally the same size, then you have something. I don't think Bud beats a prime Manny. Um I don't know, man. I mean, I just okay. Let me ask you guys a question about Manny Pacquiao. What year, in you guys' opinion, what year was Manny in his prime? What year was he in his prime? '08, 2009, 2010, 2011. What year was Manny Pacquiao in his prime? You guys tell me, because I hear that a lot. Manny in his prime. When was he in his prime? I know who doesn't and can't get CTE. Triple D. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. 2009, okay. Luca, 2009, like '06. 2006? I don't really think so. I don't think that was the case. The year he cooked Oscar, that's 2008. Bud would not beat Pretty Boy. And he even said it. I don't know about that. He probably said it would be difficult, which it would be. Because I think with the reflexes and the speed Floyd has, I think Floyd is still faster than Bud. I just think Bud's better at distance because his arms are longer. You know what I mean? But both of those guys, like, man, that would be one hell of a fight. That's like Bruce Lee versus Jet Li, some shit, you know? Pacquiao was prime until he lost that third or fourth rematch to Marquez. I mean, he fought him in 2011. Then he got knocked out in 2012. So this is what happened to Manny. In 2008, Manny fought and beat Oscar De La Hoya, retiring him. He didn't come back. 2009, he ended up fighting Joshua Clottey, and he ended up fighting Miguel Cotto. In 2010, he ended up fighting Joshua Clottey. 2011, he ended up fighting Marquez for the third time. A lot of people thought he lost that, and that was a close fight. Fighters are humble a lot of times and said that he wouldn't have beat Rocky, but in reality, Ali KOs Rocky in about 6 rounds. You know, I seen a sparring, and Rocky was pretty damn tough, man. I have to look. I looked back at some Rocky Marciano, and Rocky was pretty tough. I just think Rocky Marciano got out at a good time, but I think it was more strategic than anything else. But it was also out of respect as well. So I understand that. And what that means is, what people don't understand, if you guys don't know much about historical boxing, Rocky Marciano defeated Joe Louis after his prime. After Joe retired, he had to come back because the federal government demanded that he paid taxes as though he was a boxer, but he was actually in the military. So these fucking cocksuckers didn't adjust his tax bracket. He made $25 a month or some shit in the military. They taxed him as though he was making prize money. So since they didn't, their era, they decided, well, you still got to pay us, motherfucker, even though you're not even fighting. And he was drafted, so that was something that he had to do, and he volunteered to do, and he took the $25 a month. He did exhibitions for the POWs, or not POWs, but for the infantry and everybody else. And then they still taxed him as though he was making thousands of dollars. That's the type of shit that the government did. You know what I mean? So they screwed over him. So he had to come back into the sport of boxing, and he fought Rocky Marciano, and Rocky Marciano was the heavyweight champion. Kurt, what happened to the incident about the blood drug test versus Mayweather? Then he stopped knocking people out. The drug test versus Mayweather. I don't. I mean, I don't know. You're talking about Manny. Um, I mean, who was the last person Manny knocked out? The last person he knocked out was Ricky Hatton. Floyd knocked him out. So if Floyd can knock him out and Manny can knock him out, does that mean Manny's on drugs? Because like I don't get that, bro. Like people, and I get it. A lot of people take drugs. A lot of people are on performance enhancing drugs. A lot of them are on that stuff. Craig Anello, Christmas Counterpunch, original Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, 325 AD, punched out a heretic at a Catholic council meeting. Theodore 071, what's up, Unk? Antonio Davis, what's up, Counterpunch? This Antonio, Counterpunch to you, Antonio Davis. He said, this Antonio. What's up, Antonio? Let's talk about the Paul broken face. He got his jaw broken 2 places. Enough said. Said that he got some teeth removed. Enough said. I mean, he got knocked, he got dropped, and it was a good stoppage, and people now are loving AJ. It's just like people hated AJ this time last year. They thought he should retire. They did, the views don't lie. You guys turned your back on Anthony Joshua. A lot of you. So a lot of those views now that you see, compare them to last year this time. Hardly anybody watched him. And Daniel wasn't important enough, really exciting enough to really, he was a stuttering prick, wasn't he? Nah, but Manny sued Mayweather for accusing him of drug use, and that shut Mayweather really up quick. Yeah. He said one thing, I mean, because Floyd was hating. If anything, though, I think Floyd, okay, let's say Manny was taking drugs, right? If he was taking drugs and then Manny heard that Floyd is accusing him of taking drugs, don't you think that would have helped? That would have deterred Manny from taking drugs? I've always thought AJ has been the best champ of the heavyweight division in the last 10 years because he fought all his mandatories, unlike a lot of other champions. Yeah. You can say that again. I mean, because at this point, you're looking at, like, it's a disappointment that Usyk couldn't do what AJ did. Because, see, if AJ was like Usyk, AJ would have ducked it. AJ definitely has a better resume than Fury. Povetkin, Klitschko, Pulev, Dillian White when he was undefeated. Parker. I mean, there's a lot of people. The only people they have really in common is Dillian White. And Dillian White, he wasn't the same fighter. AJ fought everybody except for the biggest fight in boxing history. It's not over yet. AJ has a mean punch. Prince Charles Martin. Yeah, when Charles was undefeated. Dillian White was undefeated. Joseph Parker was undefeated. Povetkin had one loss. Pulev had one loss. And Klitschko was the man. You know, I mean, he had, you know. So, yeah, that's AJ's big body of work. AJ needs to fight Wilder. AJ beat Ruiz. He did beat Ruiz. You know, Ruiz lost his first. He took his first L to Joseph Parker. AJ looked terrible against Jake. He needs to retire, but he's not. But it tells you Triple D has a good chin. Whose fault do you think it was in 2018 for AJ versus Wilder? Well, I think that fight didn't happen because of the dislike of management. Shelly Finkel did not like Eddie Hearn. He couldn't stand Eddie. Deontay Wilder did not like Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn didn't like Shelly Finkel. And the comments that Eddie Hearn had said. Eddie Hearn was one of the reasons that fight didn't happen. He wasn't the sole reason. But some of the things that Eddie did, you know, that's why they took him away. That's why they brought in John Skipper. John Skipper was over DAZN USA. And they offered Wilder a structured deal. They offered him, was it $20 million to fight Dominic Breazeale, $40 million to fight Anthony Joshua, and another $40 million to fight Anthony Joshua in the rematch because it was an undisputed fight. And most undisputed fights between two guys like that completes the circle of undisputed deserves a rematch. So Wilder was going to get a flat rate of $20 million, $40 million, and $40 million. And then he could have done whatever he wanted to do. He could, you know, but they didn't want it. So we hear about the $50 million, but until I hear from Wilder why he, like, because you hear him go on 78 Sports and he's peddling a narrative. He'll go on 78 Sports TV and say, yeah, I told you they didn't want it. We offered them $50 million. I got proof that they didn't want it, right? But then in the same breath, you should be responsible enough to understand, bro, there's enough time that went by for even you to admit your wrongs. Now you can admit to Tyson Fury that Team Joshua offered you more money for a fight that you claim they didn't want. You see what I'm saying? But then yet you won't admit it after saying that $50 million. That $50 million deal was a deal like this. Lou DiBella showed us what the deal was. He told us what the deal consists of. The deal consists of AJ fighting on Showtime. The only problem is AJ was no longer fighting on Showtime, even though if you were in America in 2017 and you had Showtime, you witnessed Joshua fighting Klitschko on Showtime in America. They didn't have no damn DAZN back then. DAZN wasn't thought of then. And it definitely sure wasn't over here yet. So since that was the case, Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman had a deal. Any British shows that Al Heyman wanted to air over there, he would put it on DAZN or Sky. Oh, man. and vice versa for Eddie. Eddie would use the network of Showtime, and Al Heyman had connections with Showtime, so he would use that connect over here. That's why Joshua and Vladimir fought here. But it was a Sky Sports over in the UK. It was a Showtime over here because it was a big fight, and it was a very good fight. That being said, Eddie, when he decided to sign on DAZN, he X'd out any type of agreement with Al Heyman. That might have pissed Al Heyman off, really rightfully so, but that's what happened. That's why they were shooting down the idea of DAZN coming here. That's why you had guys like Wilder and others. Oh, that's just an app on the phone. What you gonna do with that? And I'm thinking to myself, bro, you know, televisions are like big ass phones. Be vocal. My favorite YouTuber. Salute. Counterpunch to you. Thank you, man. That was no official deal. No deal was sent. Fugazi. Well, there might have been money or not. I don't know. I don't really fucking care. All I know is the $50 doesn't mean anything because it wasn't the last thing or the last line of negotiations to attempt to make a fight made. The last offer was from John Skipper, DAZN. And it was simple. A 3-fight deal, 20 million, 40 million, 40 million, 100 million, $100 million. I don't give a shit how much taxes you pay. You're going to be stankin' rich. And they decided not to have it. And the reason for that being, Shelly Finkel demanded to see what AJ was getting. So you're trying to secure a deal for your fighter, and all your promoter is worried about is what the hell is that? You know, what is the other fighter getting? It was a power trip, people. So you asked me a question. Oh, well, whose fault was it? Well, I think Wilder and Eddie, I think they gave him offers that Wilder refused because he felt he can make more money, which he was true, because the very next year they offered him 100 million. Now, let's say if he would have took the 12.5 or the 15 million, it would have been a situation where, damn, you would have been messing yourself out of $85 million, right? But they wanted him to sign to DAZN, just like the $50 million deal was. They wanted Joshua to break his contract with Sky Sports. He would have to do that to fight on Showtime. Because again, Eddie signed a deal, right? And the deal was, look, you fight on DAZN now, right? And we are the competitor of Showtime, PBC, Fox, because they have a different model. They were Blockbuster. Eddie Hearn was dealing with Netflix. He just didn't know. He just was too early, I think. Yeah, he did him wrong on that deal. They could have took that deal, but I think Al Heyman really called that shot. I think Al Heyman, and then, you know, but then Shelly was back in Al Heyman's play. So in that damn meeting with John Skipper, they was like, well, how much is it? How much is AJ getting? How much is none of your damn business? Do I have to explain that to you? That's none of your business. Why would you even worry about what another fighter's getting? I'm trying to secure your fighter the bag, and you're trying to give us a damn dick measuring contest between you and the other fighter. Why are you worried about that? That's why I knew this isn't even about making the fight. It was about how much they felt that they were equal to Team AJ. That's all. They wanted to. I've told people this shit. If you haven't heard it, you've heard it now. Team Wilder wanted to compete with Anthony Joshua, but in America. To be like AJ, he wanted the popularity of AJ. Okay. He wanted to be a woke, conscious black fighter, Nubian warrior over in America. To this day, what do you think that meant? To this day, we still been fighting, and we fighting for 400 years to this day. To this day. To this day. Shh. I'm out of here, man. That's what he wanted. He wanted, like AJ. AJ was loved by the Nigerian people and the British. Yeah, he was a bigger star. I mean, he's a bigger star now, but he was bigger worldwide. The only problem with AJ didn't fulfill the prophecy of coming over and taking over. He didn't do the Beatles over there. He didn't do the British invasion. He came to the States. He sold out. Yeah, market-wise, yeah, people like this big, muscled-up, big-neck bastard. They like that idea. But at the same time, he came over here and got, well, he was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller. And imagine Jarrell Miller, if Jarrell would have beat AJ. Oh my God. And Jarrell Miller actually would have took his medicine on time. If he would have took the drugs. And I think Jarrell Miller, people, listen to me. I think Jarrell got greedy. He got greedy. I think he got greedy. I think he got greedy. He took too much drugs. Jarrell Miller took too much of that cocktail. See, when Jarrell Miller got busted, when he got busted, right? They found 3 drugs in his system. EPO, GW 115, no, GW 1516, and something else, right? Because I remember I was in Brazil when it happened. I'm not gonna lie, I like Jarrell Miller as a fighter, but that's where the positivity. Well, if he would have beat AJ, because AJ came out of his element. If he would have beat AJ, people would have loved him. He would have started rapping on the Breakfast Club. He would have made a rap song about, yeah, I whoop Cracker Jack AJ's ass. I don't give a fuck because he got that cash. I got to do it again, so it's on that bash. I'm going to whoop him again, and I'm about to smash. You know, stuff like that, right? Jarrell Miller has a gift of gab. The only problem, he got too loose with the juice. He took too much drugs. I think Jarrell Miller knew how to take performance-enhancing drugs to the point. That's how he knew, hey, AJ, there's no way you could gain that amount of muscle mass. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way you know. He knew because he had an idea, because he was a part of that shit. Caddy Trode, 2288, Merry Christmas. The aircraft carrier, bars. Miller has the exciting style. The man don't stop, but I guess there was a reason for the infamous gas tank. Well, he got too greedy. Jarrell got too greedy. He took too much drugs at one time, and it showed up in his system. I don't think Jarrell Miller intentionally wanted to get caught. I think Jarrell Miller took drugs like a lot of these other fighters took drugs. I just think he took too much drugs, or too many drugs, or too many supplements or substances that it showed up on a test. Where it's the detoxing part of something that's supposed to benefit you as far as juicing. Ask anybody that uses drugs. Let's just take something simple as TR, testosterone, fucking redneck, testosterone replacement, right? Now you have someone that, let's say, one centimeter or 1 milliliter, right? TRT. Let's say you take twice as much. Well, if you know this last 1 milliliter lasts you, or centimeter lasts you 2 weeks, but you take twice as much. Okay, that's 4 weeks. So you can't expect in 3 weeks for this shit not to still be in your system. It's going to be there. That's Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller decided, look, I'm going to take more and more and more. If he would have went in there and fought AJ wouldn't have been able to knock him out. AJ would have been fighting him, and maybe Jarrell Miller would have landed something to hurt him. But what'll happen if AJ had that concussion, it was a matter of time before juiced up ass Jarrell Miller would have went in there and knocked AJ's ass out, because he probably wouldn't have knocked him out with one shot. He probably would have wore AJ down, and AJ would have had a war with him. It would have been a great fight, though. Think about that. AJ versus Jarrell Miller. That shit should still happen. I want to see that damn fight, bro. I want to see Jarrell Miller take on Anthony Joshua. Do you understand the media, the coverage? What? Bro, the backstory's already there. It's already lined out. There's a foundation of bad blood between AJ and Jarrell Miller. That fight would have been dope, man. I don't care what nobody says. I would rather see that shit than anything, really. I don't, you know what I mean? AJ fighting Wardley, no. I don't even really like, Wardley's cool. But Wardley ain't a Jarrell Miller. You need the brash talking, shit trash talking guy. You need that. Miller will slap AJ. AJ will probably slap Miller this time. AJ will be more aggressive if that happens. Jarrell Miller has to do something that makes AJ fight him. That's why I'm so disappointed in Jarrell Miller for pulling out of the Fabio Wardley fight. Fabio Wardley, bro. If you would have fought Fabio Wardley, then Fabio Wardley, if you'd have beat Fabio, then Miller then would have fought Parker. You know what I mean? And I just don't see Miller falling to Parker. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. Yeah, that was annoying, and he's wondering why he can't get a damn fight. Bro, you can't get a fight because you got a bad track record. Nobody wants a fight. Nobody wants anybody that goes to a job and quits. You work a couple weeks and then you quit. That's basically the equivalent of what Jarrell Miller did. Jarrell Miller, oh yeah, we're going to have this fight. Don't you ever do this? He slap and build this fight up, and you're thinking this fight's going to happen, and then he pulls out because of a shoulder injury. Bro, that shoulder injury bullshit, I'm sick of hearing that excuse. Dillian White used that excuse to pull out of the Otto Wylene fight. Remember that? And it was annoying too. It was like, yo, really? Really, Dillian? And then the next thing you know, he's fighting who? Tyson Fury. Just like Dubois pulled out of the Joseph Parker fight, then all of a sudden he's fighting Usyk. You see what I mean? These, like, bro, these fighters are not that damn injured. Antonio Davis, Counterpunch, I think Usyk the best #1. Okay. What happens if he gets beaten? Then what? I don't even, man, the way shit goes in boxing, it's hard to say who's #1. I think it's best to say who do we think that's #1 right now, or who qualifies to be #1. Because I think what happens is we have this guy that we narrate in our minds that is #1. And I think that's not the truth. But the only thing that's going to make it false is somebody has to come along and beat him. Caballo needs a fight. Caballo would probably beat Usyk. Why? Like, Kurt, you tripping? No, I'm not. See, if Caballo fought Usyk, Caballo, we already know he got a chin. He ain't chinny. So if Usyk hits Caballo, even if he drops him, he's going to get up. You know what I mean? This ain't fucking slow ass, broke down ass Dubois. Dubois was so slow. That ain't I get Caballo. I get Caballo is going to go to that body of Usyk. He's going to try to chop that tree down. And you know what I mean? And Usyk's going to get on that bicycle, so it's going to be mostly a boxing match. But that's going to be a very good fight, bro. That fight won't go how people think it's going to go. This is too good for everyone. No, he ain't. No, he's not. Because once he gets beat, then what people are going to say, if Wilder does something crazy and knocks out Usyk, that's going to bring everything back to zero. Then I think it will actually take boxing farther in the heavyweight division, because it'll prove that the three kings were not as underrated as we thought they were. Everybody thought that about Wilder, especially got beat by Tyson. Tyson gets beat by Usyk twice. Joshua gets beat by Usyk, you know what I mean? And then he gets knocked out by Daniel Dubois. Caballero hasn't beaten anyone as good as Parker. I don't know. Again, I just believe there's too many. What's this fucking truck, bro? Just go the fuck on, bro. Dude. It's annoying as shit. I'm getting annoyed here. This dude, he's fucking with his truck. He's out here, you know. You need to be like out in the wilderness and shit. But anyhow, I just think there's not enough fighters fighting. Caballero beat Mark Madoff. Caballero beat Frank Sanchez. Caballero stopped Zhang. You know what I mean? So, for Caballero's credit, he has a win over Chisora, Zhilei Zhang, Arslanbek Markmadov, and Frank Sanchez. Since then, Markmadov has been beaten by Guido Vianello, right? Or Vianella, right? He just beat Dave Allen. And Frank Sanchez, once beaten, and really Frank is he's been avoided. So the guy that's being avoided by Moses and other fighters got beat by this one guy that everyone avoids as well. Zhang versus Bakali should happen, and Wardley versus Caballero. I'm all for that shit. Cheers to that. I'm all for that. Because you have a fight of, because Wardley and Caballero, that should happen. Because that's the equivalent of how that Parker, and if Wardley can beat Caballero, bro, he has my 100% respect. I can't say nothing bad about Wardley again. He's just a durable warhorse that's limited, but it don't matter because he has the chin and he has the right hand to get it in. Bars. I won't say nothing bad. If Caballero loses to Fabio Wardley, if Fabio can beat him, bro, I can't say nothing bad about Wardley ever again. I'm gonna make Wardley videos left and right. Anything Wardley does, I'm gonna start supporting him. Frank had a bad knee in the Caballero fight. Zhilei Zhang didn't. Arslanbek Markmadov did. He claimed my hand. Bullshit. Your hand was hurt. Really? No, you got beat the fuck up. Head, body, head, body, head, body, body, head. That dude got beat up, down. To and fro. Don't do that, Frank. Got in the ring willing. No excuses. You're right, Kirk. Wardley versus Caballero should happen. Hey, I'm all for it. That's for a title. Wardley's the champion. He's the heavyweight champion. The other champion is Alexander Usyk. This is a great time for heavyweight boxing. Usyk's going to take on Deontay Wilder. And, bro, let me tell you guys something about Deontay. Deontay Wilder, if you don't fucking take this deal, if you let your team try to talk that shit away and talk themselves out of that fight, I don't want to hear shit about Deontay Wilder again. Because there is not every day, if ever again, somebody is going to talk about Deontay's his name based on the shit performance that he did with Tyrell Herndon. You better not ever say nothing about nobody. I don't want to hear that regurgitated bullshit about AJ. I don't want to hear none of that no more, because it seems every time it's time for you to step up or fight somebody that's known, you step out. Because the other fighters that you fought, you got your ass whooped. Joseph Parker, i.e. Zhang. You made those fights, but you lost those fights. So it's time for him, Deontay Wilder, to redeem himself. But what happened before that loss? What happened before that? He was going to fight Andy Ruiz. There's no guarantee he would have beat Ruiz. Andy probably would have clipped Wilder and knocked his ass out. We all know how fast Ruiz is when it comes to counterpunching. We know that big motherfucker can fight. We can talk all these jokes about Snickers and please. Fuck with Andy Ruiz. Bars. Fuck with him and see what happens. See what happens. What takes place when Andy hits you? Same thing happened when he hit Luis Ortiz and AJ. That fight didn't happen. The AJ fight didn't happen. The Andy Ruiz fight didn't happen. But yet Andy Ruiz can fight Luis Ortiz. You see what I mean? Like, listen, no. Wilder has to improve his relationship with other people when it comes to making fights, because the more fights don't get made is the more you have to look at his team as a reason why the fights didn't get made. It's got to be a reason for it. You can't tell me, no, well, they wanted too much money. And no, that means you motherfuckers are hard to work with, and it's probably based on the fact that you may not be able to beat this opponent. And let's face it, do you think Wilder would want to lose to Andy Ruiz after Andy Ruiz beat the guy that made him famous, Luis Ortiz? No. And AJ? He hasn't never fought AJ, but AJ is his rival. That's a guy that was a champion when he was a champion, and they were supposed to fight, but it was over some fucking bullshit why they didn't fight. Right? So Wilder knew, I can't afford to lose to that dude. He whooped AJ and ain't ever fought AJ. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford that. No, he's going to look bad. Ruiz is annoying. He's a prize fighter, nothing else. Hell, if you want to call him that. Because he's always like, I'm going to make my comeback. We have something big coming. I'm like, what the hell is big coming? Your fucking belly? What's big coming, Andy? Come on, bro. Stop. They don't have nothing big coming. Now, I wish I'm wrong. I would be the first to report something like Andy Ruiz versus Fabio Wardley. You know what I mean? Something, or Andy Ruiz versus Moses Atoma, Andy Ruiz versus Dillian White, Andy Ruiz versus Daniel Dubois, Andy Ruiz versus anybody else besides Jarrell Miller, because we've already seen how that fight goes. We've already seen how that fight lands, man. Like, dude, he's the motherfucker that made 10 comebacks and no fight. That would be dope. Moses could fight Andy Ruiz after that. That'd be a great fight. And then see, Andy, like, I want Andy to do something, but he ain't doing nothing. Whatever. I mean, people don't understand, man. I mean, people get tired of all the talking and you walking on the treadmill. Hell, I could do that. I could Jedi mind trick you guys and go to the treadmill every day. Man, I'm in the treadmill. I'm training for the next fight. You know, I'm doing all this fucking video play and all these reels and all these little shorts and, you know, all that's bullshit making you think that Kurt's getting ready, man. Oh, man, Kurt look good. That dude, you see him? You know, you can see his neck now. His neck is growing. Right? But then you never see me fight nobody. You never see me fight nobody. You know, and that's just bad. Like, inactive, who gives a fuck how good you are if you're inactive? Nobody cares. And you're all that inactivity, all it's going to do is set you up to get your ass whooped by somebody that's ready and already in shape. And you're not in fighting shape. You've just been sitting around working the treadmill, begging people for a fight, knowing damn well if they came to you with a fight, your dad would probably fuck it up because he don't know what he's doing. His dad don't know what he's doing. But I mean, Moses' atonement may be the second coming. It's just, I don't know. Who is around with you have been told. Atoma gets a world title without fighting as much as he has. He's going to be in trouble because there is no going back once you hit world level. True. But that's the level they want him to be on. That's why they wanted him in there with Dillian White to see what kind of job he'll do. And he passed that with flying colors. They just didn't want him to go in there with Frank Sanchez, which I find that kind of strange. If you tie a Snickers bar to a back of a truck and have it drive off, Ruiz will run faster than no allows. Lies. Is it? Yeah. Crazy. The same thing happened to Fury, inactive, then got beat up by Ngannou. I guess, man. Tyson too bipolar for me. Counterpunch, who's your best fighter? My best fighter now is Artur Beterbiev. Quiet kept. Quiet kept. Moses Atoma is untested. Yeah. Yeah, he's bipolar. He's just drunk. You know, I think he gets drunk, and most drunk people are bipolar because they're all over the place with emotions. They're drunk. They're not at themselves. They're just, I'll fight the Dawsa. No, I quit. Terminator Beterbiev. Yeah, Beterbiev. That's my favorite fighter right now. I wish he would have stopped Bivol. Something definite, At least drop Bivol. Bivol turned that fight down in Moscow. Yeah. He didn't want it. No, I don't think I'd want it. Him and his crooked ass wife. Damn, his wife was hardcore, man. Yeah, he's gonna fall for a while. They just try. Look. Beterbiev is another guy that they're trying to age out. But look. This is my prediction. They're gonna try to age Artur Beterbiev out, and you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna get it wrong. Because I think Artur Beterbiev is going to fight another 2 or 3 years at world level, at championship level. And people are gonna come in there and see. Hopefully, it works like this. This is what's going to happen. This is my counterpunch prediction between 175 and 200. Artur's going to fight someone. It ain't going to be nobody or no name. Meanwhile, David's going to fight Zerto. Benavidez is going to fight Ramirez. Then he's going to leave. He won't fight Jai Pataya. Jai Pataya would probably end up fighting another person, whatever. Another undefeated nobody, which is no fault of his own. Meanwhile, David Benavidez is going to go back to 175 and fight down there. And what he's going to do is he's going to fight either. He's going to try to fight Artur Beterbiev because he thinks Beterbiev is slowed down, and Beterbiev is going to stop David Benavidez. That's what's going to happen. Artur is going to stop David. He's going to take that first L, and then everybody's going to be shocked. I won't. I predicted this shit. He's going to beat him, or he may take on Smith, but he may do that just to kind of prolong, just to make sure Artur is past his prime. But he won't be because he's in too good of condition. Artur is in too, he is a guy that's ready for whatever. His lifestyle is clean. He's a family man. That dude don't drink, smoke, do none of that shit. He don't have vices like that. He don't have vices like that. But Artur Beterbiev is a guy, he's Muslim. That dude, they don't do shit, man. Them Nurmagomedov motherfuckers, they don't, bro, they're on some different shit up there. They're way up in the, no. And even Artur, he lives in Canada. He's up there because he knows Canada's climate is similar to Russia's. It's because they're cold. Both countries are cold. Bivol out there aging Beterbiev the F out. Well, they're going to try. And whoever fights Artur, they're going to get their ass whooped. Artur is going to go in there and he's going to bash him. He's going to batter him. That's what's going to happen. Because they're going to get it wrong. They're going to think, yo, I'm not fighting Apataya because Apataya is only 30 years old. So like, nah, we're going to pass on that motherfucker. So we're going to leave. We're not going to go for the IBF. We're not going to go for the Ring magazine. Hey, let's go back to 175. Hey, you know what? I bet you'll be a good fight, and a fight that you can win that's pretty safe right now is Artur Beterbiev. Let's make that fight happen. Boom, that fight will get made. And David will fight at 175, and he will get hurt, and then he'll get stopped. It's going to be on. It won't be. I don't think it'll be an early fight unless Artur destroys him, which I don't think that'll be the case. I think Artur has to go through some shit first. But Artur will have the punching power. He will, you know, he's gonna hit David, and David's never been hit like that before, and he's gonna feel it. That shit's gonna start messing with his legs, and then Artur is gonna taste blood. He's gonna go in and he's gonna finish David Benavidez. He's gonna stop him. And it's all because they thought he was too old. Yeah, DeMarcus, he has slow feet. That's why Beterbiev is going to push. You know, he beats you up like a fucking bully. He mauls you, man. He's going to maul David. Because David likes to, and then look, especially David likes to sit on the ropes too much. And David's punches are not that hard at 175. See, the problem with Anthony Yard, we all know how Anthony Yard fights. He doesn't have a snap to his jab. He fights a lot like Sugar Shane Mosley. And I used to love the way Mosley fought with his reflexes, and he was physically strong and all that shit. But his jab sucks hard cock, right? He did not have a jab. His jab was, instead of snapping that motherfucker, instead of snapping it, bow, bow. No, no. David hit Yard 450 times. He beat the shit out of him because that was the wrong type of fight. He thought that he didn't even go in to knock him out. He just went in to try. No, bro. David beat the shit out of him. And he's going to fight Artur. He's going to duck Jai Apataya and fight Artur. He ducked Artur to fight Zerto. He beat Zerto. He's going to duck Jai Apataya and go back to 175. Watch what I tell you. Watch. Because then he's going to be like, I'm going to take on Artur Beterbiev. I think he's the toughest fighter out there. I think he's the toughest. Bivol, I don't know what's up with Bivol. We'll get a Bivol after we take care of Artur. Because, you know, I think both of those guys, they're both, you know, they're 1-1. So I think I should take them on. I think this fight should be good. You know, and all this and that. You know what I mean? And then that's how that's going to happen. knowing that the narrative, believing in their diagnosis of a fighter. Oh, Artur ain't the same. He ain't the same no more. You know what I'm saying? So because they knew, well, he ain't the same no more, let's go ahead and make a fight with him. So we can have that name along with Bivol as one of the people that defeated Artur Beterbiev. And Artur Beterbiev is going to come in ready to knock his head off, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to stop David. He's going to hit David with something to the body. Because, see, what's going to happen is it's going to be a firefight because David's fast as shit. I love to see David fight. But at the same time, nah. Who cares if you're not fighting the guys that challenges you the most? There's no fight that's more exciting than David versus Artur. None. Everyone who knows boxing knows is won't fight Opetaia. He's not going to fight him. Jake Paul will fight Opetaia before David does. Nah, he's got to go back to 175. But I mean, if he does that, it is what it is. Artur used to be a cruiserweight anyway. Can't say that about Bivol. And I don't think he'll beat Bivol. I think he has a better chance of beating Bivol based off the fact Bivol doesn't have knockout ability like that. You know, but I think Bivol is a shitload better than guys like Vosnik. Kurt versus Tank is more interesting. Boots versus Virgil could be more successful, but Artur versus David would be some bloody Sunday shit. Probably. Because, I mean, Artur would... You don't understand that dude, bro. That's how special I know Bivol is. Even though he lost to the pressure. He didn't lose the fight, the boxing match to Artur. He lost due to the pressure. Artur pressures you. He's a pressure fighter. He crowds you. He throws punches. The punches that he throws are so fucking hard that it knocks your guard out, or it makes your guard deflect off your face with your gloves. Meanwhile, he's punching you, and he's making your fist do damage to your own damn face. Not alone the punches that he's landing here and here. Remember that. And a lot of those, let's say he goes in between and he punches through the guard. He does that type shit, bro. That dude, Artur, is nobody to play with. David, if he's smart, he better wait till that motherfucker's 44, 45 years old, like Kubrat Pulev's age. Wait till he's that age. And that still may not be enough. I'm telling you, there are Muslims. Bernard Hopkins, Muslim. He don't eat bad. He doesn't have vices. He is a clean guy. See, when you're clean and you can train and you're strong and you're tough. William Saavedra, Brazil. William, huh? Guilherme. Tudo bem? Demetrius Andrade come back counterpunch. Nah, I don't want to see his ass, man. He almost is an exciting guy, but then it's like you would think that he would have the pizzazz or the charisma, but nah. You preserve yourself. Yeah. All them dudes do, man. Them fuckers are on ice. They probably sleep in cryo chambers. I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep. You will see. Yeah. Artur, man, Artur go in there and knock somebody out. He retired Volsnik. Shit, Volsnik was undefeated. He fucked that Ukrainian up big time. Better BF just overtrains, which would cause injuries. Yeah. But see, it also puts you in good conditioning. And because of that, he's able to fight and he's able to do things that a lot of fighters couldn't do. I love watching him in the Marcus Brown fight. You remember that? I mean, he beat all those dudes. Joe Smith, Joe Smith, Callum Smith, Yard, Kurt versus a prime Loma at 130. I ain't messing with Lomachenko, man. Lomachenko's a good fighter, very good. Long live America. I love America. Marcus Brown got his ass kicked by the Terminator. Yeah, he split his face open. Found out this motherfucker wasn't even human. He just bleeding. This motherfucker's bleeding and he keeps hitting me. Oh. Then he caught him that right hook. Boom! Caught that boy. Took his ass out. Chisholm, 4887. Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas to you. Better BF has knocked everyone out except Bivol. Yeah. Yeah, he had a perfect knockout streak. Every fight that he was in before the Bivol fight, someone stopped it, and it wasn't him. Marcus Brown used damn near every dirty tactic in boxing known to man, and it still wasn't enough. Kurt, who is more famous in the U.S. right now, Joshua or Wilder? Ooh, probably Joshua, because see, Joshua was introduced to the American mainstream or casual platform. I'm thinking to myself, man, AJ, you're gonna get a lot of pussy tonight. If pussy is AJ's thing, it was being thrown at him, people. Oh yeah. Greetings to all in the chat. To you, Kurt. Suge won. Counterpunch to you. Having them women signing NDAs. This is an MDA, isn't it? I want you to sign. Joshua, definitely the casual audience is flooding my feed constantly. Yeah, man, they love him again. They love his ass again. Kurt, do you think Wilder still has the one hitter and motivation to land it on Usyk? We had to see. That's Artur, better BF. We'll see. Why women go crazy for Joshua? Hey, I mean, he tall, he ain't short, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's all. And then see, American women want him because they got that. He a big jacked up ass dude, and he got an accent. So anybody with an accent, bro, yeah, they gonna fucking, you know, I love your accent. I just need you to bend over. Just bend over for a bit. Oh, okay. Oh. I just want to show you something. AJ took it easy on Paul. It's cause of his body physique. I mean, he's jacked. But see, that's the problem with AJ. AJ should really be thin. He has a thin frame. He just piled a lot of muscle on. It's in now, isn't it? Oh God! It's been 8 months. I've been celibate. I'd say, man, all that money and shit like that. AJ's pretty good though. He's pretty disciplined because he only has one kid, bro. Like, bro, if I was that man, understand these guys from yesteryear, Sugar Ray Robinson, you know how many kids he had? Joe Louis, you know how many kids Joe Louis had? Joe Louis had kids like he got half Japanese kids. Joe Louis got babies everywhere. Muhammad Ali got 9. 10, really, if you count my ass. My Jon Snow bastard ass. He got 10 kids. Them boxers be fucking. They be getting it on. Man, I'm telling you, bro, bro, these boxers. Terrence Crawford got 7 kids. His last kid ain't even from the kid's mom. It's from some other chick. I don't even know where she's from. That's none of my business. But, you know, they ain't nowhere near Omaha. You know? Kurt DeVille with 100 mil would be taking the Bible verse literally. Be fruitful and multiply. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'd go to Germany, have me a big German volleyball player. I have like 3 kids with her. I'd be having big solid motherfucking boys. They all be like 6, be like AJ's height. Just, you know. Dude, I'm serious, man. I would. If 100 million, bro, I'd have 12 kids. You know, I mean, if like I wouldn't just be, but it would be understood though. They would be planned. That wouldn't be like, no, oops, nah, I'm too rich for that shit. I would be like, yo, let's have a child. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just kind of let things go, but you know, and let things happen. But at the same time, bro, no. I would have children everywhere. I'd have them in Egypt, Canada, Brazil, DR, Cuba. Bro, I would have kids everywhere. Everywhere. For real. Seriously, man. 100 million, bro, I'd have kids everywhere. Shit, I might get like George Foreman. I got a brother like that. All of his kids like are named after him. Curtis Jr., Kerr Michael. What the fuck? You know, Tremaine Curtis. What? Yeah. Average height for sons would be 6'2". Yeah, I would want tall giants. I'll be like Giants Bane. I want to have big monsters with her. I got 100 on Wilder stopping Usyk. Great. He took the Gary Russell Sr. route. I mean, whatever, but yeah, he did. You're right. Mr. T. Yeah, man. You guys see that shit there? I don't like that. Look at this, bro. Like, you see that child there? There's a baby up there, bro. Okay, she's up there with him. Like, yeah, she just opened the door. Still bullshit, man. You don't leave that kid out there like that. How much beer you have? I just got a 6 pack, man. I'm on my third, which is probably, I don't know, will be my last. I don't know. I'm just casually sipping on it, but I'm keeping in mind it's like 70 degrees, 72, 73 degrees here. Yeah, man. Fucking kids on the balcony, I mean, because see, if you got like, if you look at that, right? Look at her. She's on the top floor, and those are like some kind of, I don't know if those are bikes or that child could, could have climbed over. I don't know. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, this dog here, that's Nana. Nana! Nana's horrible. Dog will eat your face off, bro. This dog will eat your face off. Look at her. She's a boxer. Boxers and Rockwilders, these motherfuckers are crucial. Look, she's going mad. Look at her. I've seen kids slip through those bars on balconies before. Fuck yeah, dude. They like, well, I mean, you'd have to have a narrow-headed child to go through those, but still, I wouldn't trust it. Yeah, nah, that dog will tear somebody's ass up. Was the Miller drug whistle? Was that Miller drug whistle? Mm-hmm. Lovely dog. Merry Christmas. That's not my dog, but Merry Christmas. Hmm. Yeah, boxers 1 minute are licking your face, next minute eating it. Really unpredictable dogs. Yeah, man, I don't fuck with boxers either. They'll get you. What do you mean? What do you think is going on with Parker, Kurt? Or what is your conclusion now? I don't know. I mean, we haven't heard the B sample, and I think it's just stupid. Bro, take that bitch somewhere, test it. It don't take this long. I think it's a bunch of bullshit, honestly. I think they fucking over Parker because Parker's he's not British. He's Australian. And because he's Australian, they don't push him. Okay, let's say, dude. Yeah. That's just stupid. Test the fucking B sample so we'll know exactly what's in it. It don't take that long. That's just stupid. I think they wait either they this is what I think happened. I think I think these boxers hire a bunch of lawyers, and then these lawyers they start decrediting things. Like, okay, well, was this regulation, or or this wasn't regulation at all, and all this type of bullshit. Cocaine finding is serious, but that there is a slim any chance of contamination. Bro, you had to, if they found that type of shit in it, it had to be that. You can't confuse sesame seed buns for cocaine. I'm sorry. Macaulay ate 4 mastiffs. Kurt Sanchez looking for a fight. Can he fight Bakali? Who wins? I don't know. That'd be a good fight, though. Frank and Bakali? No. Do you think we get Joshua Fury 2026? Maybe, maybe not. I think we'll hear more about it happening than it actually happens. You know what I mean? Kurt, does Bud have a GOAT case? Yep, he's the GOAT. Frank Sanchez wins it all day. Okay. Counterpunch to you. I've been to the Isle of Man, so I understand why Fury moved there. Very quiet and taxes are low. Can't beat that. Cannot beat that, man. You cannot beat it. They're trying to mess up his B sample too. Yeah, I don't know, man. They screwing over him. So if they want him gone, that's the way they get him gone. Parker didn't do nothing wrong. Fuck them. Joshua versus Warley 2026. That's if Joshua wants a belt, but he may come up short. Bivol versus Benavidez 2026. I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm going to inbox Bakali to call out Sanj. That's cool. But no, man, I just really think that these fights should happen. And before I get off of here, let me talk about Ike Ibeabuchi for a minute, man. Ike Ibeabuchi really upset me. He really disappointed me. He should have known, bro, I ain't that good. That delusion of grandeur ain't worth a shit. You know? I seen the sparring sessions, man. The sparring sessions sucked. Are you Chinese? Really? No, I'm not Chinese. Joshua beats Warley, I think, too. But I think Joshua whoops Warley's ass, but I just want to know what happens when Warley lands that shot. That's 12. Joshua beats Wardley. And Wardley is the type that will not be intimidated by AJ. He might get knocked down, but I think it's a pretty good fight, though, honestly. Uh-oh. Got these Coca-Colas, Mexican Coca-Colas. These shits are the best. I got some Sprites here, too, man. Mexican Sprites. Ha ha. Yeah, I love those too, man. They're off the chain. Love those Cokes and those fucking Sprites, man. With the sugar cane in it, they hit way different than a regular bullshit corn syrup. You know. Kurt the man got deported by DT. He's trying to stay busy and avoid depression. Give him some slack. Kurt, parsnips taste like potatoes. Counterpunch, you're a cool guy. Antonio Davis, appreciate it, man. I think I'm pretty cool. I would like to say I'm pretty cool. All right. I'm a pretty cool guy. Nah, man, this has been a cool day, man. I got one of my brothers. He called me. I'm gonna call him back here in a little bit.
I love to ask fighters, what's the most you invested in a training camp? It's expensive, maybe like £500,000. What's the rate? Maybe like $700,000 apartment. Then you've got your training partner's apartments. Then you've got the food that you eat through training camp. Then you've got your training partner's food that they eat through training camp. Then you've got the cost of your actual trainers. Then you've got the travel when you're traveling to press conferences and back. Videographers, so promotion of the fight. So you've got to do your own personal promotion these days. You've got the event promotion, like Netflix are going to promote. But then also Anthony Joshua needs to promote himself as well. So yeah, it's a lot. It's just a rack up. But it's an investment. For me, that's the best investment, which is investing in yourself.
$500,000, huh? I just did a video on this, actually. I saw your video got a lot of more views recently. Yeah, AJ won. That's what happens when AJ starts winning. People start giving a fuck about what he's doing. That happens, though. Don't be surprised if the channel gets 100,000 subscribers. If AJ would have knocked out Danny Dubois' silly stuttering ass, the channel would have had probably about 110,000 subscribers. I'd have had a plaque and shit chilling. Since he got his ass whooped, I don't. We're still here, big dog. Lou Brown, I heard that, man. Counterpunch to you. What did Ike Abeabuchi do? He got his ass whooped. Ike Abeabuchi got his ass whooped by a dude with 16 fucking losses, bro. He was 26-16. And he got his ass whooped. You put your record on the line and all this, that, and the other, and then at the same time, it's like, what? Come on, bro. 16 losses. That shit's crazy. You gonna let somebody whoop you like that? That lets me know, like, Ike, bro, I love Ike, but he ain't on that. He ain't about that shit no more, man. That's it. Yeah, he got beat by a dude with sick debt. Yeah, he needs his ass whooped again for that. He thought that he still had it. And he don't. I could look at him, bro. The way he throw them punches and the shit, bro. No, it's over. It's over, bro. It is over. Oi, oi. But yeah, man. Nah, Jake's good. His jaw's healing. He's looking at that fat ass check. No, Chisora can fight whoever he wants, really. What do you make of Jake wanting to fight Jai Pataya? I think it's bullshit. He ain't gonna fight Jai. Be a good fight though, I guess. To Jai, he catches him and knocks his ass out. Jake the Jacked Jaw. Only Foreman can fight at 50 plus. Correct. Actually, it was 40 plus. He didn't fight. It was 50. He gave it up by that time. But yeah, man. It's been a great time with you guys. God bless you. Have a Merry Christmas. I'm going to jump off here. I got to make some calls, Christmas calls. You know what I mean? But content will be coming. I may go live tomorrow as well. So you guys stay tuned for that. Until then, Be safe, be blessed, enjoy this day. And remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.